If you're a new beekeeper, you may find it challenging at first to locate your queen, especially if she isn't marked. So in today's video, I'm going to show you various ways to locate your queen, and then I'm going to show you the proper method for marking her. Hey guys, Kyle here with Hornbaker Acres. We're a small beekeeping operation in Buckeye, Arizona. We utilize our channel to educate people on various aspects and methods of beekeeping, and when we can, we take you along with us for our live bee rescues. On today's video, we're going to discuss locating and marking your queen. So let's jump right into it. Alright guys, like I said, as a new beekeeper, it can be very challenging to locate your queen at first, especially if you're not used to seeing her and looking for the signs of a queen. So we're going to go through some of that right here, right now, with this colony that should have a marked queen in it already, and I'll show you some of the signs of where your queen is located. Alright guys, this is the frame with the queen on it. I'm going to give you guys a second to try and spot her yourself. One of the things that you're looking for when looking for your queen is actually not looking to see if each bee is a queen, but looking for the behavior of the other bees around her. Now let me find her again so I can focus in on her. There we go. Now hopefully you guys can see her. I'm breathing on them so they're getting a little excited. But if you watch her movement for a while, you'll notice the bees kind of move out of her way. So what you're looking for when you're looking for your queen is that path of destruction, is what I call it. As she moves around searching for a place to lay eggs, the worker bees around her will kind of just gently move out of her way. She's also usually pretty graceful moving, fairly slow and deliberate. She's covered by other bees right now. So that is the best way for me to find my queen, is just to pay attention of the behavior of the bees on the overall frame and look for that, like I said, path of destruction for the queen. Now, if for some reason you can't find the queen, all you need to do is look for eggs. And I'm going to have a picture right here up in the corner of what an egg looks like in a cell. What that means is that if you see eggs, then you've had a queen in there within the last 3 days, because eggs hatch out after 3 days. So now that we kind of can see the behavior of the queen and the behavior of the bees around it, we're going to go over another method of kind of a last-ditch effort of finding our queen. Alright guys, before we get started, there's going to be a few items that we're going to need. So let's go through all those items together. First, we will need 2 hive bodies. We will need 1 hive top. We will need a queen excluder, a smoker, hive tool, frame grips if you use them, queen cage, one-handed queen catcher for marking, and a marking pen. Now, one note on marking pens: if you're not familiar with marking queens, each year has a different color depending on the ending number in the year. 2019 is the year green, as shown here. Some of you may be wondering, well, this is 2020, why are you marking a 2019 color? That's because the queens I'm marking today were actually from 2019. So there we go. Once more with all of our supplies, we have 2 hive bodies, a hive top, a queen excluder, a smoker, frame grips if you use them, hive tool, queen cage, and a queen catcher for marking. Alright guys, so in this situation, this is actually the bee removal I did in one of my previous videos, which I'll link in the description, where I didn't have a lot of comb to take home with the colony. So there's a lot of bees in there, not a lot of comb, which means it is very challenging to find the queen. So I'm going to use this opportunity to show you guys how I locate a queen in this situation. Like if you were to find a swarm, it's very difficult to find a queen inside of a swarm as well. So this is the method I use to find the queen. So first thing we want to do is put the outer cover or the lid or whatever you have on the ground, upside down. You will put I'm sorry. From there, you will actually put this hive on that outer cover, or now what basically becomes the bottom board. It profiles it down. All right. I'm going to do a quick check for the queen on the bottom board. It's not likely that she's here, but there's always a chance. You see that there's some rubber bands here from where they've been chewing away the rubber bands from the comb that I banded up in the frames. Next, I will put a new hive body right back on the old hive stand, or the old screen bottom board. Again, every time I move a piece of equipment, I'm checking for the queen. She's not on there. My inner cover, she's not on there. So, to fully set this up, basically what I'm doing is I'm taking the queen excluder, placing it on top of an empty hive body. I'm taking another hive body, setting it right on top. This will create kind of a shaker box, is what we call it. And I will simply go frame by frame and shake the bees in. Checking each frame as we go and making sure my queen clip is nearby for when I do see her. So as you can see, not a lot of comb, but a lot of bees here. That'd be very difficult to find the queen. So I'm going to very carefully bring this to this box, give it a couple shakes, see all the new comb that they've drawn, and then use the smoker to drive them down inside. While I'm doing that, I'm looking for the queen. The queen cannot go through the queen excluder. Alright, I don't see her in that shake. Put that off to the side. Again, I'm going to make a quick look for the queen. Looks like they've mostly connected this frame pretty well. Don't see her on that side. And I don't see her on that side. So again, just a couple quick shakes to drop the bees off. Another quick look. And put that right there. Looking for the queen, smoking them down as needed as they crawl up the sides. So we're going to continue to do this frame by frame, dumping bees in, looking at the queen excluder, looking for our queen. So we're going to cut forward until we find our queen. Alright guys, I don't know if you can see her right there. There's our queen. So, I'm going to just use this queen clip because it's easier to catch with this. Go right down on top and slowly allow it to squeeze shut, making sure that she's out of the way and doesn't get pinched. And she is in there. Okay, we're going to set her off to the side for now. And we're going to put these bees back together. Alright guys, so we have our queen captured. And I have this one-handed queen catching tool for marking here. So what we're going to do is, it's going to be challenging with how many bees are in there with her. But we're going to try and release some of the bees without releasing her too much. And then as she climbs out, we'll try and catch her in this device. So the worker bees can actually fly out of this queen clip if they want, because the slots are big enough for them, but not big enough for the queen to get out. So if you blow on them a little bit, that gets them a little bit agitated and you'll start seeing more and more leave. And the way as I'm waiting for the worker bees to leave, I'm going to explain this a little bit. This is called a one-handed queen catcher tool, as found on Amazon. Again, I'll have a link in the description. The way it works is you have this gate that slides using this mechanism here, and then this plunger has a soft cushion on it. Use that plunger to hold the queen up against the cage so that way you can mark her. And again, we'll go through that and you'll be able to see it in just a second. Alright, so we've got enough worker bees out for now. We're going to slide this open just a little bit and allow this to peek open. And hopefully she'll walk in there. Sometimes they like to climb up. You gotta be very careful that you don't injure the queen in the process. And she's on the outside. There she is. Like that catch. So I'm going to just slowly shut this gate, making sure she is out of the way. And she's in. Alright, so what we're waiting for now is for her to walk onto the foam. Sometimes it helps if, there we go, and just like that. So I barely got her pressed up against there, but I've got her demobilized for the most part. Now one thing before I do that, I'm going to let her roam for a little bit. I want to make sure that you guys realize, again with these marking pins, the color is year specific. I'm going to have a list of all the years and applicable colors in my description. But with these, you want to make sure that you shake them a little bit, prime them by pushing on something a couple times, and then rub a bunch of the excess off. You do not want to drown your queen with paint. You want it just drawing like a marker, just like that, okay? So now that our marking pin is primed, and now we have a few more workers in there. This can be a challenge to do with gloves, but... So, we're simply going to, once she's caught somewhere, nope, not quite the right angle. Get out of there, worker. There we go. To where her thorax is exposed, I'm going to just carefully mark her. You know, I'm going to release her and do that a little bit more. Get these workers out of here without injuring her leg. Sometimes it's easier if you walk away with your queen, because these workers are really wanting to attend to her. There we go. Let's wait for her to be in the right spot. Right there. Now, there we go. So hopefully you guys can see that I've marked her a little bit. I'm gonna just do a little bit more on this side, and that should be good. You're gonna leave her in this queen catcher for a few moments to allow her to dry. Worker bees will clean off fresh paint. And even over time, over the course of a few months, some worker bees, I've noticed I've had marked queens that like 6 months later, most of their paint is worn off. And then you just reapply as needed. So again, we're going to allow that to dry for a moment before releasing her back into her colony. All right, so we're going to see where she's at, making sure that we don't accidentally pinch her legs as we release her onto the comb. Sometimes she just doesn't want to walk out. And there she goes. She just fell in. All right. She fell right into the colony and she walked in. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. But there we go. We now have a marked queen in this colony. So that's it, guys. That is marking queens. It does take practice. Don't feel bad if you kill a queen when you do it. Obviously, you don't want to kill the queen. It can be very heartbreaking. But marking queens takes practice, okay? One method that some people use to practice on it is to mark drones. They capture drones in the same fashion, put them in this device, and they practice marking drones. It takes a real light touch to do so. Again, guys, as I always say, I truly appreciate the love, support, and kindness you show here on YouTube and our Facebook page. Make sure you check that out. It's Hornbaker Acres, LLC on Facebook. Make sure you check out our website, www.hornbakeracres.com. I will have a link to both of those in my description, along with links to the various items that I used today to perform this task. If you guys like this video, make sure that you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give this a like. Again, truly appreciate the support. Hope you guys are having a great day. Happy beekeeping.